Hello humans, Master Dinnerflex here, bringing you the low quality content you deserve, and today I'll be showing you a deck called Oregano. Now this deck recently got released in Japan, and when I was first testing it, I was like, this deck is really underwhelming, but then I tested it again, and it's mildly adequate, and I'll kind of explain how the deck works. So basically, like, all the monsters are in some form or way I guess Mezuki. Like, they're really powerful Mezukis. Like, Diver summons from the deck when you banish it from the graveyard. This one's actually Mezuki, and this one is you special summon from the hand. More like Gozuki, but they all have this restriction on them as when you use their effects, you cannot summon for the rest of the turn except dark monsters. So it really makes it hard to like super link combo. Like, you can't really make too many things. But I took an interest in the deck because like how I was impressed with Seer, how it worked. This guy can actually revive extra deck monsters from the graveyard, so that's really powerful. So let's get into it. So 3 Armageddonite and 3 Mathematician. All your monsters do stuff in the grave, and you don't necessarily need Armageddonite. Like, when you're stuck under the dark restriction, you're only stuck against special summoning. So when you normal summon Math, that doesn't matter. If it gets ashed and you have no other plays, that's fine because it has a draw effect on it. And like, you would play Armageddonite because you can summon this under the restriction, and it's a rota target, and a level 4 if you need to make, I guess, an XC, which probably won't ever happen. But both of these are really, really good, and they're a total necessity to the combo, and I'll explain the combo soon. So 3 Orville Redenbacher Diver, 3, I'm not going to pronounce that name, and 1 Cannon. Not like Blast Cannon, but Series Cannon. And then for the last one, which kind of works like the rest of these guys, is World Scepter. And it has a very similar effect. The first effect you can just ignore because we're not playing World Legacy cards in here. But you can Mezuki it out to target a banished Orphegel and special summon it. So it's very much like the rest of these guys. And in the combo, you're actually going to need this. And then because you don't like, because there's like so little you actually do, the next you can play just like a bunch of hand traps and actual traps, because this deck absolutely wants to go first. There's no reason you shouldn't. This is a very stunny deck. One thing I would suggest, you might want to try Instant Fusion, because these guys kind of suck to draw. But if you draw one of them and then Instant Fuse, you could make the link too, which helps get your plays going. So that works, I guess. Then we got Orphegel Babel. This turns all your monsters into spell speed 2, which is really cool, and it recycles itself, which is actually pretty helpful. So the reason you don't play multiple, the reason I'm only playing 2, which honestly you could play 1, but it's actually just nice to draw because sometimes it alleviates what you can search. Like, you don't have to force yourself to search it and then kind of leave yourself a little defenseless. You don't have to do that if you draw it, but at the same time you don't want to clog your hand with it. It's an engine piece. I don't need to justify it, but either way, this allows all your effects to be spell speed 2, which is really important for the combo. And then Orphegel Prime 2 of, this is just Destiny draw that's also advanced draw, so it's very, very good. And since all your stuff wants to be in the graveyard, that's even better. And 2 of this one I don't actually like too much, but it's super important against, like, it's actually super important, even though I don't like how it works. The thing that it does is when your opponent summons, you get to dump one of your guys. You can either banish it or put it in the grave, which, if you have the field spell, you're always going to put it in the grave because you can just banish it whenever. And that's pretty much it. This is another thing, like, I'm okay drawing it sometimes, but like each time you draw one of these 2 cards, it allows you to search something you might actually want instead of just like you can search actual defense instead of just, you know, oh, I need to set up these 2 things. You don't have to do it if you draw one, but you don't want to clog your hand with them either. And then Reborn, Rhoda, Foolish, and Upstart. Seems pretty simple. Traps, we're actually playing traps because this is kind of a stun deck. You got the whole Solemn Brigade because we want God to say no to your opponent. Triple Compulse because I like it. This is a very extra deck format. It also works kind of like a Mirror Force in a way you can just prevent yourself from dying and using it. You can prevent a monster that you don't want to die from being destroyed. So very, very good. So that's neat. Then in Permanence 2 of, it's a trap, but it's also a hand trap. And quite literally Dimensional Prison. It's actually really terrible, but it's like it is a piece of defense that you just get for free, so you might as well take it. Yeah, it's kind of shit to draw, but so the combo that I'm going to explain needs 2 pieces. It needs Armageddon or Mathematician with an Orphegel in hand, or a way to get an Orphegel on deck without using too many graveyard resources. And if you only open up like the normal summon with no Orphegels, which you don't want to max out on these because they're so shit to draw, and you don't want to play triple a Destiny draw just because it's not very helpful and it's also a hard once per turn. So you want to play these in good ratios, and if you just don't draw any of them but you draw one of these, you're going to kind of slow play and stun your opponent for a bit until you get to the full combo. And when you take that into the equation, this card is very helpful for that. Now, for the extra deck, once I explain this, I'll get to the combo. So Borreload is actually very helpful because it ignores the dark restriction. Very good. And since you can revive links out of your graveyard, it's even easier to make than normal. This is the important part of the combo. This is an important part of the combo. This actually doesn't matter. It's just Beals. You could probably just get away with without even playing it. I've never made it once in all the variations I've played of this. This one is kind of important to the combo and it's very helpful, so you don't want to get rid of that. And 3 of Ibli as a robot, rebuilt as RoboCop. She's the one you're going to make a whole bunch of, and she's also the one that recurs your spells and traps. She gets them out of your deck directly when you recycle these guys. So this is why you kind of want to max out on them. And it was what I was saying earlier. So if you just draw Armageddon Knight or Mathematician and nothing else, like nothing else to your combo, like Droll, Ash, Traps, like you can't really support yourself off them. So what you do is you just go Armageddon Knight, send Diver, summon this one from deck, and then you make the link 2, and when you do that, you're going to recycle the level 4, and you're going to get this from deck. And then afterwards, if you already have this, you're going to search this instead, because whenever your opponent declares an attack, you can tribute the Orphegel monster and target any monster and then banish it. And then what's important is when you have the field spell, you can use this effect to recycle her back on the field, and then you can use her effect to recycle this back in deck and grab another piece that you may need. So it's like a very slow kind of grindy thing when you don't draw another Orphegel, but you don't want to max out on Orphegels because they're really bad to draw. And yeah, that's basically it. You could also try Dark Grepher, like that was the theory I was coming up with, but there's still a lot of testing I want to do. And whenever you add more monsters, you kind of take away the stun aspect, and this deck isn't that good without backup stun like traps and hand traps. So it's really hard to just say, oh, just play more things to alleviate the monsters out of your hand, because the deck, like, its combo is really cool, but it's actually not that good enough to do that. So these are like the only links that matter. Like everything else is kind of useless except Unicore because it is a dark, so it ignores its restriction. So let's get into the combo. So let's say you have Armageddonite or even Mathematician. Let's say you have Armageddonite and Diver in hand. Very basic. So you will normal Armageddonite, send Cannon, banish Cannon, summon Diver from your hand, link 2 into Galtea. Then you will recycle that Cannon to search Babel. This is important. You got to search Babel. And then you'll activate it. By the way she searches, it ignores Ash because she sets directly to the field. Then you will banish Diver to summon Mezuki. I'm not pronouncing that name. So you will link this 2 and 3 into Summon Sork because they were both dark machines. And she's a dark, so she ignores that. Then you're going to Mezuki back your Galtea, and then you're going to summon Sork this. And when you summon Sork this you can use it for a link, but also like I said earlier, how you have the it's very much like the rest of them. This is important. So you're going to link World Scepter and Galtea into the link 3 Longyearsu, and then you're going to banish this out of your grave to summon this banished card, and then you're going to turn that and summon Sorceress into Bomber Dragon. Now here's what you've done. You've put Mezuki in your graveyard to where it can be activated on your opponent's turn with Bomber Dragon. So when they go to start establishing their play, you Mezuki out your Galtea because you have the field up. You can do it. And then when it activates, Bomber Dragon's going to activate, but you're also going to chain Galtea to recycle this to usually search this because this allows you to just Foolish Burial anything when your opponent keeps trying to play. So then you can do that. And then Bomber will resolve, destroying her and whatever your opponent has, but it won't destroy this because while it's linked, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So you have 3K25 and you got a Regeki on standby on your opponent's turn while you're searching and establishing yourself more and more. And then when you throw hand traps and regular traps into the equation, it's really hard to get past. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. Stack's really interesting and I really want to test more of it. So yep, that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and remember, master the Inflex will take your soul.